The hospital room was quiet. Only the soft cry of a newborn filled the air. Alina sat on the edge of the bed, her face pale, her hands shaking. The nurse walked in with a warm smile and held the tiny baby in her arms. "It's a girl," the nurse said gently, placing the baby near Alina. Alina did not move. "Do you want to hold her?" the nurse asked. Alina slowly looked at the baby. The baby's eyes opened. Small, beautiful eyes. But in them, Alina saw something else. His eyes. The same dark brown color. The same shape. The same look. Alina's face changed. Her hands went cold. "I can't," she whispered. "I can't do this." The nurse looked confused. "She's your daughter." Alina stood up slowly. Her legs were weak, but her voice was firm now. "No," she said. "She's his daughter. I don't want her." The nurse stepped forward. "Please, she needs her mother." Alina didn't answer. She picked up her coat and walked toward the door. The nurse tried to stop her. "Miss Alina, please, at least give her a name." Alina stopped. She turned, looked at the baby one last time, and said coldly, "Name her whatever you want. I never want to see her again." Then she walked out of the room, out of the hospital, and out of her daughter's life. 2 weeks later, the same nurse sat in a quiet living room. She rocked the baby in her arms and looked around her small home. Her name was Rosa. She had worked in the hospital for over 20 years. She had seen many things. But this broke her heart. She had waited for Alina to return, but no one came. No calls. No letters. The hospital tried to find a family member, but nothing worked. The baby was now in Rosa's care, at least for a little while. "She needs a home," Rosa said to herself. Rosa was not rich. She lived alone in a simple house, but she had a warm heart, and when she looked at the baby's face, she didn't see pain. She saw hope. "I'll call you Lily," she whispered, "because even in pain, lilies bloom." Years passed. Lily grew up in Rosa's loving home. She had curly brown hair and big bright eyes. Yes, the same eyes her mother once ran away from. But Rosa never saw them as bad. To her, they were beautiful. Lily was kind, quiet, and always curious. She loved books and drawing. But deep inside, she had questions. Where did she come from? Why did no one else ever visit her? Why did people in town sometimes look at her with strange eyes? At school, some kids would whisper behind her back, "Isn't that the girl who was left at the hospital? I heard her mom ran away after seeing her face." Lily would pretend not to hear, but the words hurt. She didn't tell Rosa about them. She didn't want to worry her. One night, Lily sat alone in her room, looking at herself in the mirror. She touched her face gently. "Why?" she whispered. "What did I do wrong?" That same night, Rosa stood at the door, watching her. Her heart felt heavy. She had raised Lily with all the love she had. But she knew, one day, the truth would come out. She looked at a small box hidden in her cupboard. It had old papers, a hospital report, and one photo, a photo of Alina holding the baby for only a second before leaving. Rosa took a deep breath and closed the cupboard. "Not yet," she said to herself. "She's still too young." But what Rosa didn't know was, Lily had already seen that photo. She had found it days ago. She just hadn't asked about it, because deep down, she was scared of the answer. Outside, the night was cold and quiet. But inside the house, the air was filled with silence and secrets. Lily lay in bed, wide awake, staring at the ceiling. And Rosa sat by the window, watching the stars, wondering how long she could protect Lily from a truth that was already knocking. The truth about a mother who couldn't bear her daughter's face. The morning sun peeked through the curtains. Lily stood quietly by the window, her drawing book open on the table. She wasn't drawing today. Her pencil just sat in her hand, still and cold. Her eyes were heavy. She hadn't slept much last night. Rosa walked in with a warm smile. Good morning, Lily. Hungry? Lily nodded, forcing a smile. A little. They sat at the kitchen table. Rosa placed toast and eggs in front of her. It smelled good, but Lily barely touched it. You okay? Rosa asked gently. Lily nodded again, just tired. But the truth was something else. Her heart was full of questions. That picture, the one she had found in Rosa's cupboard, was stuck in her mind. A photo of a woman with cold eyes and a soft dress. A woman holding her like she was a stranger. And then, walking away. Lily couldn't forget the woman's face. Was that my mom? She wanted to ask, but her lips wouldn't move. At school, the whispers had returned. Do you know who her mom was? She left her in the hospital. That's what my aunt said. She looks like a ghost. Lily kept her head down. She walked alone in the hallways, ate lunch alone under a tree, and tried not to cry. But her heart was breaking a little more every day. One day after school, Lily came home early. Rosa wasn't there. A note sat on the table. Went to the store. Be back soon. Love, Rosa. Lily stood in the quiet house. Her eyes slowly turned toward the cupboard. The same cupboard where the photo had been. Her legs moved on their own. Her hand shook as she opened the door and pulled out the old box. She sat on the floor and opened it fully this time. Inside were the hospital bracelet with her baby name. Baby girl, no name. A copy of her birth report. A small letter with no name on it. The same photo of the woman who walked away. Lily opened the letter slowly. It wasn't long. I cannot raise her. She looks too much like him. I'm sorry, but every time I see her face, I remember what he did to me. I cannot bear it. I hope someone gives her the life I cannot. Tears rolled down Lily's cheeks. She didn't leave because I was bad, Lily thought. She left because I looked like someone else. Someone she hated. But why? More questions filled her heart. Who was him? What had he done? And why did her mother blame her for something she didn't even know? Rosa returned an hour later. She found Lily sitting quietly on the couch, the box beside her. Rosa's face fell. Oh, Lily. Lily looked up. Her eyes were red. Why didn't you tell me? Rosa sat beside her and took her hand. I wanted to wait. I didn't want to hurt you. She left me because I looked like my dad. Rosa nodded slowly. Yes. Your father hurt her deeply. I don't know the whole story, but she couldn't bear the memory. And when she saw your face, she saw his. But I didn't do anything wrong. Lily cried. Why would she leave me? Because some people are broken inside. Lily, Rosa whispered. And they don't know how to heal. That night, Lily sat by her window. The stars were bright. She thought about her mother. Somewhere out there, that woman still lived. A woman who once held her, then left her without a name. A woman who still carried pain so deep that even a baby's face was too much to bear. But Lily was stronger now. Rosa had raised her with love. And maybe, just maybe, she was ready to face the truth. Rosa, she said softly, do you know where she is now? Rosa looked at her with worried eyes. Yes, I've known for a long time. But I didn't want you to get hurt. I want to see her, Lily said, voice calm but firm. Even just once. Rosa was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay, but we go together. The next day, Rosa and Lily stood at a small house on the edge of town. The garden was neat, the door painted blue, the windows clean. A quiet home. Lily's heart pounded. Her hands were cold. Her feet felt heavy. Are you sure? Rosa asked one last time. Lily took a deep breath. I need to know, she whispered, even if she still doesn't want me. Rosa rang the bell. They waited. And then, the door slowly opened. A woman stood there. Older, tired. Her eyes looked hollow. And for a moment, her face went pale as she saw Lily. The face she couldn't bear, was standing at her door. The woman stood frozen at the door, her eyes locked onto Lily's face. Her lips moved slightly, but no words came out. It was like she was staring at a ghost from her past. Lily felt her heart beating loudly in her chest. Her legs were shaking, but she stood still. Rosa was right behind her, gently holding her shoulder, ready to step in if needed. "Hello," Lily said softly. The woman's eyes dropped to the ground. She stepped back, opening the door wider. "Come in," she whispered. Her voice was thin, tired. Rosa and Lily walked into the small house. It was neat and quiet, like no one had spoken in it for years. A single photo sat on the shelf, an old wedding picture. The man in the photo had sharp eyes, strong shoulders, and a cold smile. Lily sat down on the couch. The woman sat across from her, holding a cup of tea in her hands, though she didn't drink from it. "You look just like him," she said suddenly. Her voice was shaking. Lily didn't respond. She didn't know what to say. "I couldn't do it," the woman continued. "I looked at you, and I saw him. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep. I felt like I was drowning in pain." Rosa stepped forward. "She's just a child," she said gently. "She had nothing to do with what happened to you." The woman looked down at her tea. Her hands were trembling. "I know, but I was broken, and I did something unforgivable." Lily finally spoke. Her voice was quiet, but firm. "You left me." Tears filled the woman's eyes. "I know. You didn't give me a name. You didn't come back. You didn't even try." "I was scared," the woman said. "I was angry. And I thought, if I stayed away, maybe you'd have a better life." "I needed a mother," Lily whispered. "I didn't need perfect. I just needed someone." There was silence. Then, for the first time, the woman looked directly at Lily, really looked at her. "I'm sorry," she said. "I've lived every day with that pain. Every birthday, every Christmas, every night I lay in bed. I wondered where you were. I wanted to write. I wanted to come, but I was ashamed." Lily's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. "You still could have tried," she said. "Even one letter, even just a message." "I didn't believe I deserved it," the woman replied. Rosa watched quietly, her heart heavy. She had raised Lily for years. She had seen her cry in her sleep, draw pictures of a woman she never knew, and whisper to herself when no one was around. Now, the pain had a face, but it wasn't over. Lily stood up. "I don't know what you want from me, but I didn't come here to fix you. I came to understand." The woman wiped her eyes. "I don't want anything. I needed to see you, one more time. I thought I could stay strong, but the moment I saw you." She took a shaky breath. "You're beautiful." Lily looked at her. The woman's face was older now, weaker. She didn't look dangerous or cruel. She just looked tired and broken. "I'm not here for your apology," Lily said. "I'm here because I deserve answers." The woman nodded. And so, the truth came out. She told them about the man, Lily's father. A powerful man, controlling, charming on the outside but cruel behind closed doors. "He made me feel like nothing," the woman said. "When I got pregnant, I was scared. I thought he'd change. He didn't. He hit me. He locked me in. He said the baby was a mistake." Rosa gasped softly. "When I gave birth, I looked at you and saw him. The same eyes, the same nose. I broke down. I didn't even name you. I just walked away." Lily sat quietly. The words cut deep, but they also explained the hole she had always felt in her heart. Now she knew. Now she finally understood. When they left the house, the sky was turning orange with the setting sun. Lily walked silently, her mind full. "Are you okay?" Rosa asked. Lily nodded slowly. "I don't know, but I think I'm not as lost as I was before." They walked home in silence. That night, Lily opened her sketchbook. She drew a picture of a door. half open, light coming through, and a shadow standing inside, unsure, but no longer hiding. The next morning, Lily sat at the kitchen table with her sketchbook in front of her. The house was quiet, except for the sound of birds outside. Rosa was making tea, but her eyes kept checking Lily's face. Lily hadn't said much since they came back from the visit, but her silence wasn't cold. It was the silence of someone thinking deeply. Finally, Rosa placed the cup in front of her. "You didn't sleep much," she said gently. Lily nodded. I kept seeing her face. Rosa sat across from her. "Do you regret going?" Lily shook her head. "No. I needed to hear the truth, even if it hurt." Then Lily reached into her backpack and pulled out something she hadn't shown yet, a small, crumpled envelope. "She gave me this before we left," Lily said quietly. Rosa leaned in. The envelope was yellowed with age. The edges were soft, like it had been held many times. On the front, one word was written in faded blue ink: Lily. Lily hesitated, then opened it. Inside was a letter, written in shaky handwriting. As she unfolded the paper, her hands trembled. She began to read out loud. "My dearest Lily, I don't know if you will ever read this. I don't know if you will ever forgive me. I wrote this many years ago, after the night I left you. I was in the hospital, and a nurse gave me paper and told me to write a letter to my baby. I didn't think I could, but I did. You were so small, so beautiful, but I saw his face in you, and I hated myself for not being strong enough to hold you. I thought leaving you was the right thing, but I was wrong. Every year, I thought about sending this, but every year, fear stopped me. I have watched from far away. I knew someone had taken you in. I heard you were doing well, but I stayed in the shadows. Please know this. I never stopped loving you. I was just too broken to show it. If you are reading this, it means I found the courage to face you. And I pray with all my heart that one day you can find a small place in your heart to forgive me. Love, Mom." Lily's voice cracked near the end. Rosa reached over and took her hand. "That letter should have come years ago," Lily said, "but at least I have it now." She stared at the letter for a long time. Then she carefully folded it back and placed it in the envelope. "She never sent it," Lily whispered. "Why do people wait so long to say sorry?" Rosa gently said, "Because sometimes saying sorry means facing everything you've tried to forget." Later that day, Lily decided to go back to the house, alone. Rosa wanted to come, but Lily said, "This is something I need to do." The walk felt longer this time. Her heart beat faster with every step. When she knocked on the door, it opened slowly. The woman, her mother, looked surprised but not unhappy. "I didn't think you'd come back," she said softly. Lily handed her the letter. "You should have sent this." Tears filled the woman's eyes. "I know," Lily continued, "but I'm glad you gave it to me now. It doesn't fix everything, but it helps." They sat on the porch in silence for a while, just breathing the same air. Not mother and daughter yet, but two people trying. Then Lily said something unexpected. "Tell me more about him, my father, the good and the bad." The woman looked shocked. "Why?" "Because I need to know all of it, not just your pain. I want to understand who I came from, and who I choose to be." Her mother nodded slowly. "Okay." And so, the stories began. Not pretty ones, not fairy tales, but the truth. That night, Lily returned home with heavy thoughts but a lighter heart. She sat on her bed and opened her sketchbook again. This time, she didn't draw a door. She drew a letter, open, flying in the wind, with words escaping like little birds, and a girl watching them fly, not chasing, just watching, with peace in her eyes. Rosa was watering her plants when Lily came home from her second visit. The sun was starting to set, casting a soft orange glow across the sky. Rosa looked up. "How did it go?" Lily didn't answer right away. She walked slowly to the steps, sat down, and stared at her shoes. "She told me everything," Lily finally said. Rosa came over, sat beside her, and waited. She knew Lily needed to talk in her own time. She told me about how young she was when she had me, about how my father used to say sorry right after every bruise, how he would promise to be better, but never was. Lily looked up at the sky, and how I was born with his eyes. That's why she couldn't hold me. She said it felt like those same eyes were watching her all over again. Rosa's heart ached. That must have hurt to hear. It did. But Lily paused, trying to hold back tears. She also said she never stopped checking on me from afar. She'd stand across the street from my school when I was little. She saw me win my art contest in 3rd grade. She even knew I had braces in middle school. She saw all that, but never said a word. Lily nodded. She said she didn't think she deserved to. There was a long pause. Then Lily looked at Rosa and asked, "Do you think people like that can ever change? I mean, really change?" Rosa thought for a moment. "I think the fact that she finally told you the truth is a kind of change. It doesn't undo the pain, but it opens the door. It's up to you if you want to walk through it." That night, Lily pulled out all the drawings she had made over the years, sketches of faces, scenes, moments, happy and sad. She stared at one of the little girls sitting on a park bench, alone, waiting for someone. "I used to think I was that girl," Lily whispered. Then she pulled out her sketchpad and began to draw something new. A woman with tired eyes, holding a baby, crying, but holding on. The next day, Lily returned one last time. She brought a small box with her. Inside were copies of 3 drawings, one of herself, one of her mother, and one of them both together, standing on opposite sides of a road, reaching out. Her mother opened the door slowly. "You came again," she said, surprised. Lily handed her the box. "I made these for you, so you never forget what I looked like, and who I became." Her mother opened the box and gasped softly. Tears welled in her eyes. "They're beautiful," she whispered. "I don't know if we'll ever be close," Lily said, "but I don't want to keep hating you. That hate, it's been weighing me down." Her mother looked at her with wet eyes. "You don't know how much that means." Then Lily did something that shocked them both. She hugged her. It was gentle, brief, and unsure, but real. For a few seconds, the years between them didn't matter. When Lily pulled back, she said, "You were right. I do have his eyes. But when I look in the mirror now, I see me." Her mother smiled through her tears. "And that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Later that evening, Rosa found Lily sitting quietly in the backyard. "No sketchbook tonight?" Rosa asked. "No," Lily said with a small smile. "I think I finally finished the drawing I've been trying to make for years." Rosa sat beside her. "What does it look like?" Lily looked up at the stars. "It looks like peace." 2 weeks passed after Lily's final visit. She didn't go back to her mother's house. She didn't call. But her heart was not quiet. Every day she thought about her. About the hug. About the pain in her mother's voice. About the eyes that once looked away and now stared back, asking for another chance. One afternoon, Rosa found Lily sitting in the sunroom, staring at a blank sheet of paper. Her sketchbook lay beside her, untouched. "You okay?" Rosa asked gently. Lily didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, "She wrote me letters." Rosa sat down, confused. "What kind of letters?" "I found them at her house. She said she kept them in case she ever got brave enough to send them." Lily pulled a worn envelope from her pocket. The paper was yellowed, the ink faded slightly. Rosa opened her mouth, but Lily raised a hand. "I want to read it to you. Dear Lily, today you turned 6. You wore a pink dress and 2 tiny braids in your hair. I saw you from behind the bushes near the school gate. You looked like magic. I wanted to call out to you. I wanted to run to you and say, I'm your mom. I never wanted to leave you. But the truth stopped me. You looked just like him. The man who made me forget how to breathe. The man who broke my bones and then kissed my forehead like nothing happened. I was so young, Lily. I didn't know how to protect you or myself. But I saw you smile today, and that smile saved me. You didn't even know it. I just want you to know I was there. I've always been there, even in the shadows. Maybe one day, when you're older, when you've grown stronger than I ever was, you'll read this and understand. I loved you. I just didn't know how to show it. Mom. By the time Lily finished reading, Rosa's eyes were full of tears. She wrote one every year, Lily said, until I turned 18. 18 years of silent love, Rosa whispered. She kept them all. Lily nodded. In a box with my name on it, tied with a red ribbon. There was a long silence between them. Then Rosa said, Lily, what are you going to do? I don't know, Lily said softly. But I feel something shifting. Not forgiveness yet, but maybe the beginning of it. That night, Lily sat under the stars, the letters in her lap. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She just sat there, holding the weight of lost years and the possibility of healing. Then she began to write. Dear Mom, I read your letters. They made me angry. They made me sad. They made me feel like a little girl again. But mostly, they made me feel like I wasn't invisible. You left me with a scar. But you also gave me proof that you tried to find your way back. I'm not writing this to say everything's okay. It's not. But I'm writing because I believe people can grow. I believe in second chances. And maybe I believe in you. Lily. The next morning, Lily sealed the letter and placed it inside the same red ribbon box. She didn't knock on her mother's door this time. She left the box quietly at the doorstep and walked away. She didn't look back. But behind the curtains, her mother was already watching, tears falling silently down her cheeks, hands shaking as she reached for the box. 3 months had passed. The letter Lily left at the doorstep had been read and reread so many times. The paper had started to wrinkle at the edges. Her mother, Claire, held it every night like it was a treasure. It was the only piece of her daughter she had for now. But she didn't dare respond. She was afraid. Afraid one wrong word would ruin everything. Lily, on the other hand, kept herself busy. She painted. She worked at the community center. She smiled at children passing by. But inside, a storm still moved quietly. She still hadn't heard from Claire. Until one morning, a quiet knock echoed through the center's glass door. It was her, Claire, standing in the rain, holding nothing but a folder and a nervous smile. Lily didn't move at first, just stared at the woman who once walked away, and now stood dripping wet in front of her like a lost child. I didn't come to stay long, Claire said softly. I just wanted to give you this. She held out the folder with shaking hands. Inside were dozens of sketches, all of Lily, from different ages, different memories. Claire had drawn her daughter from memory every year, on birthdays, on Christmas, on days she missed her most. Lily flipped through the pages in silence. Her eyes grew wide at one drawing, a picture of her first day at school. The pink backpack, the crooked smile, the way her shoelaces were untied. How did you know about this? She asked. Claire smiled, teary-eyed. I was there, just hidden across the street, every time you had a moment in life. I tried to catch it. I tried to be there in some small way. Lily didn't speak. She just stared at the artwork. Her chest ached. The girl who felt forgotten all her life was now looking at proof that she was never truly alone. I don't expect you to forgive me, Claire whispered. But I wanted you to know I never stopped being your mother. I just didn't know how to show up the right way. The silence stretched long between them. Then Lily quietly said, You came. That means something. 1 week later, Rosa organized a small art show at the local library for the children in the center. She insisted Lily display some of her own work too. At first, Lily was unsure, but Rosa didn't back down. On the night of the show, people gathered. Music played softly in the background. Paintings hung on white walls, each with a small card explaining the story behind it. Lily stood by a piece titled The Doorstep. It was a simple painting, just a young woman leaving a letter at the foot of a wooden door, but the emotion in it made everyone stop and stare. Then someone walked in. Claire. She looked nervous, but proud. She carried a painting of her own. It was titled The Girl I Always Saw. It was Lily at 16, sitting on a swing, her eyes filled with dreams. Claire placed her painting beside Lily's. The crowd looked between the two artworks, one from a daughter, one from a mother. A story told without words. People clapped. Some cried. But the real moment came when Lily reached for her mother's hand. They didn't hug. They didn't speak. They just stood there, hand in hand, watching the crowd pass by. And for the first time in years, the silence between them felt full, not empty. 1 month later, a letter arrived at Lily's apartment. It was from Claire. Only this time, it wasn't written with fear or regret. It was an invitation. Would you like to have dinner with me? No expectations, just two women trying to heal. Maybe one day we can start over, not from the beginning, but from where we are now. Lily folded the letter, smiled softly, and picked up her phone. This time, she was the one knocking. The old street was quiet again. The sun was setting, painting the sky with soft orange and gold colors. A gentle breeze moved the trees, and the world seemed to pause for a moment. Inside a small house at the corner, Claire stood by the window. She was no longer the cold woman who once turned away from her daughter. Time had changed her, but pain had taught her. On the table behind her were 2 coffee mugs, still warm. One was hers, the other Lily's. Yes, Lily had come back again. This time, not with anger, not with questions, but with peace. Earlier that evening, they had sat together for hours. No yelling, no silence filled with sadness, just stories, laughter, tears, a little awkwardness, and a lot of healing. Claire had asked, "Do you think you can ever truly forgive me?" Lily didn't answer right away. She looked at the picture on the wall, the one Claire had painted of her as a child. "I don't know," Lily finally said. "But I know this. I'm willing to try." It wasn't a perfect answer, but it was real. That night, when Lily left, she didn't look back in anger like before. She smiled. And Claire, she smiled too. It was the first time her heart didn't feel heavy. It was the first time she believed she still had a place in her daughter's life. Claire walked over to a small wooden box in the corner of the room. Inside were all the letters she had written to Lily but never sent. Tonight, she opened one. And finally, she threw it into the fire. She didn't need those old words anymore. Now she had new ones to share, with her voice, her actions, and her heart. Somewhere across town, Lily stood by her easel. Her brush moved slowly over the canvas. She was painting something new, something different. Not pain, not sadness, but a picture of a door, half open, with light pouring through. It was simple, but powerful, because that's what healing looks like. It's not fast, it's not loud, it doesn't fix everything in one day. But sometimes it starts with one knock, one letter, one shared cup of coffee, one honest word.